boy. Shinobi じゃなくてジャマイカボーイ。不動でそうだった making noise. 四六時中かかってこい. It don't matter though. Young nigga from Canada, brought from that bullshit and go like a matador. 行けたら行くわ。毎日俺のゴールへ書き出す。
Greetings and salutations. I hope everyone's having themselves a mighty fine day. Please like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell down so the goes to 13 months does not get you. And you can stay notified. It'll get you. Or it will. And also, I do want to say that, just real quick. Wow, my brain. Oh, I apologize for I'm really strapped for time right now, so I apologize for not being able to edit this. I'm just gonna be talking today, just gonna be me on screen, so hopefully that's cool. And I want to talk about Traumerei. That's because he had said a couple of things that I think are noteworthy in terms of his feelings and past traumas possibly, and how things may have happened when he was part of the 13 Great Warriors and that great pilgrimage they went on, because he talks about being betrayed because of love, or losing people because of love, or love causing people to kind of abandon him and such like that. And he mentions that also with Wang Wang and Nanea and everything. And the reason that I find it fascinating is because I think you could honestly, if you really wanted to open it up, you could attribute that to many of the family heads. I would argue he's probably talking about Arlene v. Jihad, just because I believe that was a love triangle. And Arlene obviously ended up with V, but we know that Traumerei is cool with Jihad, like he rides for him, so I'm sure they were close. And despite what may have happened with the 10 great family heads and what kind of falling outs they may have had, I'm pretty sure still a lot of them have really good relationships. Case in point, he does implicitly refer to Hendo Locke Blood Matter as his friend when Han Sung-yu says what he says. So it's not like he has a bad relationship for all of them. He does come across to me as a recluse. When I say recluse, I mean even amongst his own family. This could be something that's consistent with all of them, and only very few people get to see them, and I can understand why. But just because of the way he kind of sits, and he just kind of like to himself, he even has the mask, almost like he doesn't want to breathe the air of the filthy trifles around him. I think all of that kind of ties into his personality. So when I say you can open it up completely, you could honestly add Gustang to there, because Gustang and Eurasia had a relationship. I don't know how close these two ever were, but they had a relationship. Ari Han and Ha Yurin also probably got into a relationship. It's possible that they were really tight-knit, or he was cool or close to a lot of them, and as they fell in love with another person, he obviously gets pushed to the wayside, because that's kind of what happens in relationships. Now, I do think you're kind of a bad friend if you get into a relationship, man and woman both, and you just kind of disappear off the map and you don't mess with your friends. I think that's very strange, but the dynamics of your interpersonal relationship will change when you dive into a romantic one. That's just how it is naturally. And I don't know if he's ever been in love, fallen in love. Maybe he was in love with Arlene or possibly Eurasia or something, and because Gustang and or V got them, he's feeling a type of way. But if I had to put my money on it, it's probably Jihad, because Jihad didn't even get the girl, so to speak, right? So it's like, you did all this, we were so close, and then you started falling in love, and you started treating me differently, and then you abandoned me. And I think this ties into his animal ability being kind of related to his past and personality. I'm sure he came into the tower with a natural disposition and latent talent to control animals and creatures and trifles, if you will. But I think it was probably also a fact that it's like, if he can dominate and control the actions of other things, it could never betray him, it could never hurt him. It kind of comes full circle when you think about it thematically throughout the narrative, and then how it ties into his power set. I think it's actually really well done, because in my head I'm like, yeah, if I spent my life believing or thinking that people and things could betray me, but I have the power to control those people around me, I would probably flex that ability to control and dominate. Because one thing that he said that I always found interesting, and it's like that death is like a release for those who are not even worthy of being controlled and or used. And I'm like, wow, I think there's some deep rooted hatred from the past to some degree, in terms of how some of the people around him have acted when they had romantic feelings to one other person. And sometimes I wonder if maybe he was cool with Arihan, sorry, not Arie Han, Arihan, Sharon's family. But food for thought. But I do want to know what you guys think about this. I do want to do a follow-up and have a discussion. We're going to have a full discussion about Traumerei. You freak. Talking about breed her. You're a freak, man. You're a freak. Oh, my goodness. This guy. But yeah, let me know what you guys think for real. I want to know what you guys' thoughts. Be as detailed as you want or as vague as you want, but I want to have a follow-up discussion about Traumerei and his trauma or PTSD or his past. We're going to infer, we're going to be in speculation territory, but I do want to talk about it because I do think that it's very interesting. Because I'm still certain he's probably close to Jihad and maybe Hendo. I don't know who else. But just based on how it's been presented, he does come across to me as somebody who's more introverted and does his own thing and goes off and doesn't really mess with too many people because he has like the L stance. You know, L sits, and he kind of like it's kind of like that. So, anywho, good design. I think him being an anima makes sense with how not makes sense, but I think it's cool how he tied his anima ability to possibly something in his past. Because what if that initial betrayal or whatever it is what kind of unlocks his ability to control? That would be interesting. Like, what if, like, oh, me and John, best friends forever. Yeah, Barbie. And then, what the hell's wrong with me today? And then he falls in love with Arlene. Things change, and then maybe out of anger, he's lashing out like the sea, and he like controls a crowd. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, though. I'm gonna be out. I'm rambling now. Shout out to the Patreon gang, my CBLs, the Priests of Fire, but especially my tier 3 subscribers, the Fifth Zen God. Shout out to Abdel, Brian, Chromizone, Tris, Cayenne, Chris, Miles, Revenant, Scobe, Shot It To Your Body, Simi, and Sonny Kathapali. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you.